All right, good evening, everybody. Um, I like the call and response, appreciate it. Um, thank y'all for being here with us in our what's the opposite of like inaugural if it's the last one?
What?
It's the last kickoff, not the last program meeting. Relax. Relax. What we've talked about this. Is this news? Is this news to everybody? Okay, so everybody knows. So it's just him. Okay, cool. All right. Then how do you not we had a whole conversation. Okay, all right. I was about to say, no, I was heartbroken about this. We had a whole conversation. Y'all saw me cry a little bit. It was a whole thing. All right. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. All right. It was a thug cry. Okay. A little thug tear, and it was okay. All right. So this is our last ATA kickoff, but it's more so an information session. Okay. Now, without me getting fired or in trouble for saying certain things, right? We wanted to make sure that with pending changes in policies, all right, I'm trying to politically correct here. Um, with current changes in policies, right? We knew that there could possibly be some uncertainty, some questions that you all might have. We also know that we have a good portion of transfer students who are also interested in law and going into law. So we wanted to make sure that we kind of encompass all of those things in one session. Okay. So our guest speakers today are going to be from, well, we have lawyers, two lawyers here today. We also have representatives from Basic Needs and also from the financial aid department. Okay. Again, we are not 100% sure about how some of the policies and some of the changes and executive orders will impact us as educators, as students, right? When it comes to availability of grant funds and different things like that from the federal government, right? So we wanted to provide a space for you to be able to ask some of those questions. I will say, we do not have all of the answers right now. Okay. Some of this stuff we are also kind of finding out as it happens, kind of a wait and see type of a thing. Okay. So we are in this together. Right. I will be probably learning some stuff today, just as much as you all will. But before we jump into all of that, I wanted to again make sure that if you have not scanned in already, make sure that you do that, because I am going to be moving away from this screen in 3, 2, and cool. All right. Oh, that's a lie. No, I'm not. That was embarrassing. There we go. Okay. So for those of you that are new, not much has changed except we got Brenda back. We'll. I need, come on, clap. Yeah, there we go. Bet. So Brenda is our peer mentor. I am technically not her supervisor, so I can't tell y'all what she's going to be doing, but I can kind of tell you, right? So anytime that you are in the lounge, which is in S418, I was trying really hard not to say N418. It is in S418 in the one main building. Anytime that you are in there and you see Brenda's face, okay, please be sure to reach out if you have any questions about transfer stuff, ATA, the GSI, which is the Gator Success Institute at all. That can be your very first point of contact, right? She is a student here, just like you all are, right? And has been involved with ATA how long now? 4 semesters. All right. So she knows the ins and outs, how things used to be, what the Gator Success Institute has to offer, and all of those good things. So use her as your peer mentor. She transferred here from the Colt in College Station. So we are glad to y'all picking up what I'm putting down. All right. Any graduates from the Colt in College Station? Did I? No, no. All right, cool. I don't want to hurt no feelings. All right. So our ATA staff, Dr. Janina Arrington, she is listed as our interim director of the GSI, but she is actually the AVP of 3SL for student success, right? So that is my direct supervisor. I am Deontay Richardson Jones. Y'all know me, just call me D. If you have not actually met me before, you can call me D. It is okay, because if you call me Devontae, DeAndre, any of that is going to be weird when I look at you. All right. So D is fine. All right. I am the project director. Ms. Heidi Flores is our program coordinator. So all of the events that we have through GSI that are specifically for transfer students, she is the one that coordinates them. She is the one that puts them together and leads them. Okay. So she is out sick right now. So we send our well wishes to Heidi. But who clapped? What? Don't clap about the sickness. But last I checked, she is doing better. But she's going to take the rest of the week off, and she should be here on Monday. So y'all make sure to come by and say hey, and we are happy that she doesn't have the flu and didn't give it to any of us. All right. Yeah. Watch out for Christian. I'm not sure. Speaking of which, Christian Morales Garcia, one of our success coaches, along with Rainisha Stevenson. If y'all do not know them, they are most likely the success coaches that you will meet with if you have a success coach. Me and Heidi have smaller caseloads because of the other stuff that we are doing, but they are seeing students day in, day out. So blow them up with all of your questions, them specifically, not me. I'm kidding. Y'all can ask me questions. Erica Skinner. Where's Erica? In the back, she is the glue. Yeah, give it up for Erica. Glue of the ATA program. So pretty much everything else that is not involving the actual planning of the events or coordinating of it or meeting with students. So that means this PowerPoint, the flyers that y'all get, the food getting ordered, the things getting paid for, me not running through a wall, right? All of that stuff, that is Erica. Okay. I think I hit everything on there. All right. So some of you, this is going to be repetitive, right? So if you already know what ATA is, don't worry about it. But it is basically our transfer to transition support, right? So students who are coming in from other community colleges, other universities, right? We also work with upperclassmen in general. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to be a transfer student in order to receive coaching from us. The main thing that we do, we work with you in three main areas, right? Academic support. Oh my God, career. I was trying to say everything but career just now. So academic support, career exploration, and then also student engagement. Right. So those three main areas are also supported by the Gator Success Institute. As I said a little bit earlier, right? This is the last semester of the federally funded grant. Okay. But that does not mean that the Gator Success Institute is going anywhere. So there still will be success coaching. There still will be workshops and programming. The Gator Success Institute in the one main building in N320, all of that will still be there. Okay. So you will still have a place for support academically and professionally, even with the grant not necessarily being here. But with that being said, that means that some of the things that were incentivized, like the book vouchers, our scholarships, and it's a possibility that like our career and cultural trips, we may not have those because all of those dollars came from the federal government, and this is the last semester of the grant. Okay. So the hope is that we will be able to keep some of those, and what that looks like, I am honestly not 100% sure because, like I told y'all earlier, I don't have all the answers, right? So I'm finding out stuff as you are. Okay. But regardless of whether I'm here or not, or we're here or not, you will have support here at UHD. Okay. There was supposed to be like a little asterisk thing at the bottom of it, but we accidentally deleted it. But basically it was what I just said. Okay. So if you have questions about that or concerns about those kind of things, send me an email about what your concerns are, right? I have no problem sharing that with my higher ups. With that being said, do not email my higher up about your concerns. Send them to me. I will compile them and send them to her. Because every time that y'all email her, I hear about it. So if you're in the crowd right now or online and you have sent the AVP an email about ATA, I heard about it and I know about it. All right. So please just send me your concerns. I will work with you. I promise. All right. Also, shout out to our ATA Spring 2025 scholarship winners. Yes, for academic success, Monet Floyd, emerging leader, Thomas. Well, first of all, is Thomas in here right now or is he online? He's probably online or he's probably making it rain somewhere in his room because my guy won 3 different scholarships. So shout out to Thomas Duong. And then is New here? Is New here? Oh, there you are. There you go. Congratulations to New as well. Experiential learning. And yeah, I already said Monet Floyd, but y'all probably know her as Mo. So congratulations to our scholarship winners. I think technically these are our last scholarship winners as well for the ATA program. I do not think that we will have the funds to offer scholarships. However, I will probably have a better idea about that in April because that is when book vouchers close. We have some other accounts that close and we will have a better understanding of how much funds we do have. So this is not a promise. This isn't even like a, be hopeful type of thing. This is it might happen. Don't ask me about it. I will let you know when it happens. But like I said, we're closing out the grant, and usually in the last semester of a grant, you don't award scholarships for the next semester. Usually, okay? But trust me, I'm looking into it. Erica, how often do I hear the word budget in the office? Daily. All right. So it has become the only thing. If you've been like, I haven't had a meeting with Deontay lately, it's because budget. All right. That is my task list all the time. Okay. So again, congratulations to the scholarship winners. I can't give any promises about scholarship availability for the fall, but should something come up or different opportunities come up, you will be notified about it. Before I dive into what is a success coach, most of you in here know what a success coach is. Did we put a Tau Sigma slide there? Okay, never mind. It's later. Okay, so we'll jump into the success coach thing. Basically, what we are here to do is help you succeed, right? We used to be called academic success coaches. We are not academic success coaches. We are holistic success coaches. We are just success coaches, right? So I'm a firm believer in if things are not going well for you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, right? Academics is always going to follow because we can say that school is the most important thing in the world. It's not, right? When I was in undergrad, if something would have happened to my mama in the middle of class, I'm leaving, right? There are other things that are more important than school. We help by being basically like your liaison for all of the different resources on campus and also off of campus, right? So if you are going through things, right, like you need time management skills, I have a test today, another test tomorrow, 3 papers due next week, right? Come to us, talk to us. You're running into different things as far as different barriers that are preventing you from being successful or advocating for yourself in class, or you're trying to find a job or find connections and networking, all of those different things. That's where we come in. And sometimes y'all just want to come in and complain because school sucks. And I get that, right? We're also here for that as well. All right. So however often you need to meet with your success coach, you are allowed to. All right. You can also come in for walk-ins. Do not come in and expect to be seen immediately because we do have appointments for a reason, but usually our Fridays are a little bit more open. I usually see most walk-ins on Fridays and things like that. So if you need to come chat, holler at me, unless of course, I'm out. Sometimes I go on vacation. All right. But just give us a heads up and we will work with you. Okay. Any questions about success coaching in the chat? Anything in the chat? W's in the chat? All right. Bet. Okay. All right. So scheduling appointment with a success coach, you should have received an email if you already have a success coach. If you do not have a success coach and you're joining us in person or online, email us at ata@uhd.edu. Okay, so again, that's ATA. Can you put that in the chat, Anisha? ATA@uhd.edu. Let us know that you want a success coach and we will get you matched up with one. Okay, If I miss your email or we do not respond within 24 hours, except on Friday, because we're not answering emails on Saturdays and Sundays, but any other time, if you do not get a response within 24 hours, you can either email me directly or just email the ATA inbox again, and we will be sure to get to you. We're not ignoring you on purpose. There's 8,000 transfer students at UHD. That's just the honest truth about it. Okay. However, you can also just go into Navigate yourself and schedule with the ATA with a success coach. If you are looking for me specifically, you will probably not find that much availability because I don't get to do the fun stuff anymore. Like I said, budget, it's my life and numbers and spreadsheets. So, but if you do need me, you can send me an email and I'm usually good about getting back to you within 24 hours. And again, if I don't, please bug me. All right. Important dates. Okay, so book loans, those are due on the 15th. Last day to pay your term balance and avoid that $50 delinquent fee is also on the 15th. The last day to withdraw from a course and get a W is going to be March 25th. If you are thinking about dropping a class, do not ever drop a course without speaking with your financial aid advisor first. Okay, because if you are receiving FAFSA, if you are on Pell Grants or different things like that, your full-time status will be impacted and you may end up owing money back. Okay, so please speak with your financial aid advisor before you ever drop a class. All right. Last day to use the awarded book vouchers. So those of you that received a book voucher this past spring, you have until April 1st to use it. That's well after the second 8 weeks. So if you are taking second 8-week courses and you need to use your book voucher, you can do so all the way up until April 1st. You can only use them on academic materials. We got in trouble for a lot of money. I'm not going to tell y'all how much money because you might pass out if you find out, but we got in trouble because of being out of compliance for this in the past. Okay. The bookstore already has regulations on what you can purchase. So when you go in there and you try to use that book voucher for a UHD hoodie, it's going to be like, this isn't eligible. Go ahead and give us $50. All right. I think they're $50. They might have some sales. All right. My boy Timothy at Follett. All right. You can go over there. Might be able to get a hoodie or a sweatshirt for less than that. There might have some deals, but you will not be able to use the ATA book voucher for it. Okay. Any questions about that? So that includes all you will be able to use it on, right? Your textbooks, course materials, right? Pens, papers, planners, different things like that, but no electronics. So you will not be able to use it towards like a printer or a MacBook or AirPods. People bought those in the past. Look, listen, when I budget, okay? Budget. That I have had those words said at me a whole lot. Okay, so stay within that budget. Questions? No? All right. Okay. How to use, is this the video? Okay. So it's pretty simple on how to use it, right? You'll add your items to the online shopping cart. You'll go down and click on book loan, right? Enter your student ID. All right. All 7 digits of your student ID, find accounts, and then your ATA book voucher should show up. Okay. And then you can pay with that. Okay. It's pretty simple. If your fee or whatever, if you're in, what's the word I'm looking for? If your subtotal is greater than your book voucher, it will be applied to it and then you will pay the remainder, right? Again, you also don't have to do this online. You can do this face-to-face in the bookstore. Just make sure you bring your student ID and make sure that you tell them that you are an ATA member so that you can use your book voucher that way. All right. Any questions about that? Yes. It should be posted. If you run into issues and you go in and they're like, no, this is not ready or it's not available, right? send me an email so that one, I can make sure that you were one of the students on the list. I have already had students come in and ask like, hey, is ATA still going on? I didn't get a book voucher. Well, if you didn't complete all of your ATA points last semester, or if you didn't submit that book voucher request form that I sent out, that I know some people did not fill out, right? If you didn't fill those things out, then unfortunately, you have not been awarded a book voucher. And because of my favorite word right now, budget, we cannot award any extras. Okay, so we have capped out of all of the book voucher funds that we have. But that is one of the reasons that we brought in financial aid, book basic needs, right? To just talk about any other kind of sort of helps that will possibly be there. All right. Any questions about that? No? The chat cool? Or nah? I'm gonna just assume they're cool. Everybody cool? So you should have received an email from me letting you know that you have been awarded a book voucher, right? If you never received that email, then you most likely were not awarded a book voucher. If you're like, man, that doesn't sound familiar, go into your inbox, just search my name. If you see something from like the about book vouchers earlier in this semester, go ahead and read that email, right? If you find the book voucher form and you're like, dang, I didn't read this email, and then you try to submit it right now, you're still not going to get one because that deadline passed weeks ago. Okay. Other questions? Okay. So where we will be having our program meetings the rest of the semester is in this room. So this is the Gator Success Lounge, formerly known as the ATA Lounge. It is typically open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5. Fridays, it usually closes at 12, but sometimes we'll have a peer mentor who's still up there. So you can use that space as long as there is a peer mentor in there. Okay. In a nutshell, just clean up after yourself. All right. It is not a locker room. Don't be in there acting a fool and saying things that you would not say in front of your grandmother. Okay. And if you would say those things in front of your grandmother, all right, reconsider. All right. No horseplay, all of that stuff, right? Again, it's not a gym, but I also don't expect y'all to be in there and be silent. Okay. It's not a library, it's a hangout spot for y'all. Okay. So use that. To check in so we know how many students are using that space, please scan that QR code that's in there. Okay, scan the QR code and check in. It takes literally less than a minute. All right, it's not a hard process. And then finally, if you are online, feel free to take a screenshot of this, but this is recorded, so you'll be able to come back to it. But for those of you that are physically here, there are copies of this in here, right? If you know somebody who is not here with you, feel free to take a copy of it and take it with you to make sure to give to them. But this is the list of all of the events that we are having this semester. You'll probably notice that we used to have a NASA trip that was supposed to be on here, but what's my favorite word again? Budget. Hey, all right, stuff happened. I realized I just said, what's my favorite word? And if you're a Too Short fan, that could have got real weird. All right. So I see y'all, some of y'all are too young to know. Brenda's smiling. She knows. Yeah, you know. All right. Anyway, we'll skip over that. But because of the budget, we were not able to do the NASA trip, but we will have a graduate school trip, and we are going to the Microsoft trip next week. Is that next week? Yep, on the 7th. Yes, that is next week. Okay, so you should have been contacted about whether or not you were on that list. We were only able to take 40 students, right? So it's based off of those who are involved with ATA or their success coach, plus students who have not gone to this trip in the past, and based off of your major and all of that other stuff, right? So if you have not been contacted about it yet, whenever Heidi gets back into the office, she will be letting you know, but I think y'all have been notified already. Have y'all not? You've been notified already if you're going? Okay, cool. So you've been notified already. If you have not been notified, then I guess that means you were not selected. Okay. Questions about anything on this slide? I must be thorough because I ain't got. I believe the graduate school is UT Health. Yeah, it's gonna be a UT Health. And it's like a whole thing that they're putting together. Unfortunately, I don't think I get to go on these because somebody got to be at the office. So I will be budgeting away and spreadsheeting away while y'all are having a good time. All right. Oh, okay. We're almost done. All right. The important people will get to talk after this. Y'all, I know y'all are tired of hearing me talk. So if you have not used the UHD campus groups, please make sure that you're using campus groups because that's where all of our events are at. Okay. And then finally, Tau Sigma. All right. This is our honor society. Okay. With Tau Sigma, these are the requirements. We have already sent out an email to almost 2,000 students who were eligible at UHD, which is really awesome that 2,000 students here fit this criteria that had a 3.5 GPA or higher, right? The Tau Sigma dues are not being paid by ATA this year, okay? So if you're already in Tau Sigma, you do not have to pay anything. Even if you received an email, like an invite to invite you back into Tau Sigma again, you do not have to pay that. Okay, you are already in Tau Sigma. You are already a member. Okay, for the new folks who are wanting to join now, you will have to pay, I think it's $50. It's $40 and then $10 for local dues. That $10 goes towards the the Tau Sigma bank account that pays for the socials that you all will do, the programming, the events, possibly conferences, right? So the more of you that join, the better. So if you received that email from Miss Lori Carter, that was not a scam. All right. If you can afford to and you can spend that $50, that grants you access to Tau Sigma as a member for the rest of your life, even if your GPA drops below a 3.5. Questions about Tau Sigma? Any questions at all about my portion? I definitely went over time, but I wanted to be thorough. All right. No questions? Okay. So at this time, we are going to have our guest speaker for scholarships and financial aid come up just to give some information about any of the changes, different scholarship applications, and different things along those lines. I don't know nothing about scholarships and financial aid. So all of this is gonna look, don't ask me. That's why we bring in the experts. So I will let our colleague introduce himself and get started. All right, I appreciate you.
Hit what? Yeah, what do I hit to move the? Oh, okay. Good morning. Can everybody hear me? I'm sorry, morning. Good afternoon, evening. Hope everybody can hear me. My name is Tyrone Macklin. I'm with the Financial Aid Office, Scholarship Financial Aid Office. My title is Financial Aid Counselor 1. We're going to discuss a few things about scholarships, exploring scholarships opportunities. What is a scholarship? A scholarship is a form of gift aid that does not have to be repaid and can be used to cover tuition, fees, room and board, books, supplies, and more. Scholarships are often given to students for one or two reasons: academic achievement or financial need. Scholarship must include all resources in a student financial aid package. So with Financial Aid Office, we don't offer scholarships. We only post them if the third vendor or department awards a scholarship, they send it over to the Financial Aid Office to post it, but we don't offer nor approve or review scholarships. Types of scholarships, there's an institutional scholarship, freshman transfer, continuing education. There are departmental scholarships, also external scholarships, which include private corporations or private foundations that will donate scholarships to the University of Houston downtown. Now, we do have a scholarship link. We're going into our 1-year anniversary of this link. So if you log into this link, go ahead and set up your profile. Unfortunately, there are not many scholarships that are available for spring 25. Most scholarships that are offered, especially through the third-party vendors, that is for fall and spring. So if you start in the fall, the scholarship falls for fall and spring. Sometimes we might get some vendor that say, hey, I want to offer a scholarship for the spring semester. They'll give it to us and we'll post it on Gator Scholarship Center. So once you set up your profile, you can always log in to see if any new scholarships are available or if any scholarships that you might qualify for. All our scholarship listings, whether it's institutional, departmental, or vendor, it'll be on this link. Institutional scholarships. The University of Houston downtown strive to recognize and reward outstanding academic achievement of prospective and continuing students. The General Scholarship Committee will approve candidates based on academic merits, academic history found in our student record system. Candidates are not eligible to simultaneously receive another UHD institutional scholarship. There's a freshman scholarship with awards amount $1,500 per person, must have a minimum GPA of 2.7. Enrollment full-time or be admitted by January 31st. That's the freshman scholarships that's mostly is reviewed by the Office of Admissions. There's also a transfer scholarship, award amount $1,500 per year, must have a 3.0 GPA, enroll full-time, have a minimum of 45 credit hours transfer, and admitted by January 31st. Now, these scholarships you do not apply for. They're just automatically pulled from the scholarship committee. That's how they'll know who would qualify for the scholarship. So there's no application on that. There's also continuous scholarship, awarded amount $1,500 per year, must have at least a 3.2 GPA, earn at least 45 UHD credit hours, and no more than 85 cumulative credit hours, must be enrolled full-time. And of course, full-time is 12 hours or more, or 4 courses of that 3 hours each. Some of y'all might want to take a picture of this. These are certain links that we have that are outside of the University of Houston downtown. If you want to apply for scholarships that are outside, these are some of the links that you can go to look for scholarships to see what are available. The scholarship search links engine, FAST website, scholars.com, scholarships.com, kpex.com, collegedata.com. These are scholarships that are available for students if you just log in to see what scholarships you could qualify for. Exploring scholarships opportunity. Applying can be a lot of work. However, the process can be shortened by rethinking and tailoring one application so that it can be used over and over again for other applications. Scholarships are not only for geniuses, so you don't have to be dissimulated for applying because your grades may not be the best. Other criteria include common service, community service, leadership, hobbies, programs, studies, or pure luck. Most outside scholarships that we've spoken, like vendor, they don't require GPA. Sometimes some of them do require like community work. Sometimes I want to know, how you involved on campus, what are you involved on campus. So just because you saw earlier that it said 3.0 or 3.2, again, still apply for the scholarships because some of them doesn't require that type of GPA. It's just they want to see your community work. They want to see how you're involved with your school. So we always encourage students to go apply for scholarships. Common mistakes on scholarship application. Forgetting to include your name and or address. That is common. Submitting an incomplete application. Let's make sure you include all requirements, reference photos if they require it, transcripts, and essays. Do not use fancy hard to read font on your essay. Apply when you do not meet the minimum requirements. Again, as I said earlier, just because you don't have a 3.0 doesn't mean you shouldn't apply for any scholarships available. Spelling error. Everyone spell error correct. Everyone spelling errors can doom your applications. And I'm sure that your ATA, what do y'all call now? Success coaches? You can always take your essay to your success coach. Hey, I'm applying for this scholarship. Read over this, make sure everything's correct, make sure there's no errors. I'll go to your instructor, to your dean, somebody in the dean's office. Someone will be able to help you to proofread your essay to make sure that you got everything, all your ducks in a row, so that doesn't prolong the scholarship approval. Forgetting to sign the application. That's also make sure that after you complete it, make sure before you hit complete, it says sign, make sure your essay has been signed. Any other information that requires signature, make sure. Now, what I do recommend, a lot of people like to do the electronic signature because it's easy. Most companies, vendors, whatever, require a handwritten signature. So if you're gonna do the essay, make sure you sign it in ink or whatever, then scan it. Private scholarship tips. File for FAFSA every year. Many scholarships as well as other types of aid depend on this information. So if you're applying for a departmental scholarship, majority of the departmental scholarship require that you have a FAFSA application on file. Real quick, how many had an application on file for 25-26? Great. Make sure that if you're coming back for the fall, make sure you go ahead and do your FAFSA application prior to April 1st, which is called out prior to deadline. Applying for FAFSA by April 1st, it's possible that you can receive other grants that could be available if the funding is there. So always try to get your FAFSA application in by April 1st. Look early. Start looking for scholarships every year before your anticipated need and/or qualifications for them. So when you start registering in April for fall 25, spring 26, go to that Gator Scholarship Center website and start applying for those scholarships. That's when the majority of them will be available. Apply. Apply for as many scholarships as you can, possibly manage. Deadline, be prepared to meet the deadline for letters, recommendation, transcript, and essays. Most scholarships on the Gator Scholarship Center require all that information at the same time. So when you apply for your scholarship, before you hit enter, make sure you have everything else that it requires. Scholarship scams. Of course, we all know there are all kinds of scams out there. Do not trust anything you find online. Applications are processing fee, guaranteed winnings, or your money back. Everybody's eligible. Those are scams. So if you read anything like that on scholarship website, do not apply. Service that's asked for your credit card information or say you are a finalist for a contest you did not enter. Again, do not apply. Do not give that information out. And if you have any questions about this, hey, I got this email about this scholarship. Come to the financial aid office. We can look at it and let you know, hey, no, don't apply for that one. That's a scam. So yeah, if you have questions about those type of emails, you can always come to us. We'll be able to let you know about that scholarship. Tips for writing your scholarship essay. The intent of the autobiographical personal essay is to allow the scholarship community to know you better. Consider these 3 points. Do not start your essay with your name, date, and place of birth, and name of your parents. Try to avoid repeating information that can be found elsewhere or on your application form or transcript. Do consider starting with a familiar saying that guides you or a quotation that is meaningful to you. This will help you focus on what the importance is to you about you. Do not talk about what is important to you and your goals, past achievements, past failures, what you learned from them, activities that you were deeply involved in committed to, and relationship that guides you into the development. I'm sorry, do talk about, I apologize for that. Tips for success. Apply for scholarships only if you are eligible. Read all requirements and directions carefully to make sure you are eligible. Complete the application in full. If a question does not apply, note that on the application, do not leave it blank. Follow directions, provide everything that is required, but do not supply items that are not requested. You could be disqualified. Neatness counts. Always type your application. Pay attention to deadlines. Make copies before sending this. This is for in case your application get lost. Make sure your name and social security number is applicable. If they do not ask for your social security number, you don't have to put it on there. If they do ask for it, then yes, most scholarship applications really don't ask for it, but if they do ask for it, you can include it, but if it does not ask for your social security number, do not include it on the application. Close up. Give the application a final check, proofread the entire application carefully, ask for help if needed. If you have any problems with the application, call the organization. Remember, the application represents you. Your ability to submit a neat, timely, complete application reflects on you. Take pride in yourself by submitting your best application. If you have any questions, you can always contact us. This is our contact information. Now, our Zoom lobby is not available right now. We don't know when it will be back up, but when it's available, you can reach us through the Zoom lobby Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 a.m. You can call us through our contact center. You can also email us. And if you're in person, if you want to stop by the financial aid counter, we're 8 to 6, Monday through Thursday, and 8 to 5 on Friday. We'll be glad to answer questions that we know. Like, we're not familiar with certain scholarships that are offered. But if you have a particular question, we'll try our best to get that answer for you. That does conclude my presentation for scholarships. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask them right now. No? Quiet room? Oh. None? Hey, I must know what I'm talking about. I think I know what I'm talking about. That's pretty good. All right, thank you very much. Oh, I get a gift?
Yes, you do. There you go.
That's right there.
Ain't a
Thank
lot,
you.
because what's my favorite word?
Budget.
Budget. Come on. All right. All right. So
I'll stick around for about another 5 or 10 minutes in case of questions.
okay, yeah. If y'all end up having questions that you think about later, we'll still be sticking around. Please put them in the chat or send them to me via email or contact them directly, right? But we're gonna jump into basic needs, our basic needs department. So for those of you who do not know where it is, right, it is not in this building, right? It's not in CST. All right, so everything's gonna be in that one main building. They are literally right under us in the GSI, not like under us physically, like literally in the space. All right, we are colleagues. Okay, these are our good people. So we will be what's the word I'm looking for? Referring, right? We refer a lot of students to the basic needs department, but I'm not gonna steal their thunder, right? Come on up. Do you have everything is up here? Do you need anything extra? Okay, have the floor. It's all you.
Well, I know most of these people. They already come into the office. So my name is Cynthia Pava. I'm the assistant director of the basic needs office. So as soon as y'all come off the elevator, y'all see me. I see everybody. I see y'all walk down the hall every day. I usually don't make it back to my office. As soon as you walk down the hall, you see me sitting there in the lobby. So we do more than just the food market. So I just want you to know that. So there I am. We're part of the division of student success and student life. We're in the same division. And I'm glad to be here today. I'm glad I was invited. So if you've been in my office, you know, I always have a smile. We always have fun. We have candy on the desk there. So we have a welcoming environment. I have time for everyone. So if you come into my office, you know that everyone's important, and I spend as much or as little time as you have. So I will talk to everyone and listen to everyone's story. I am the only professional staff in the office right now. There are plans to hire more. That's forthcoming. One of the things you have is direct access to the food market. As soon as you walk in, I will sign you up to go into the food market. So the Houston Food Bank delivers 4 days a week, and the food market is open 5 days a week. And we also have other benefits, which I will also talk about. We started our financial literacy workshop series today, and I'll speak more about that also. And we also are your one-stop shop for community resources. So the Gator Mart. So that's down the hall from us. You sign up in the basic needs office, which is located in one main in 210, and clothing and Gator shop. It's actually ran by Career Services, but we collaborate with them. So we actually have the clothing closet in our space. So if you come into my office, There's a closet there where you can get professional clothing for free. We have housing information, financial referral, transportation information, and community resources. So I'm going to just step through all of these. Okay, so the Gator Mart. So there is what's called the Food Scholarship. It's a federal grant that the Houston Food Bank won. So that it gives food access to college students. There's no financial eligibility requirement by virtue of you being a college or university student. You get access to 120 pounds of groceries per month. So you can come into the Gator Mart as many times as you want to, weekly. Most of our students are commuters. They take the bus. They, maybe they use Uber, whatever they're using. So we try to limit it to about 20 to 30 pounds per week, but you can come in as many times as you want to. So the first step is you have to come in to my office in an OMB, one main building, N210, and sign up to the Houston Food Bank portal. From there, you can go down the hall into the food market and get groceries that day. Whereas on other campuses, you have to wait a week. You sign up, they wait a week because they're going to upload you into the Houston Food Bank portal, which takes about a week. We do that manually so you can immediately go and get groceries. So that's one thing. Also, if you go to the Houston Food Bank website, they have a locator map where you can shop other markets in the Houston area. So you're not restricted to just shopping our market. You can shop other markets. So let's say you live in Tomball or Conroe or Richmond. You can go and put your zip code in and you can see what other markets are participating in this program, and you can get groceries on the way home. Or you can even call them to see if they have other groceries that we don't have. They may have milk and eggs and we didn't that day, or maybe they had proteins that we didn't have. So you can also go to those different markets. So there's no appointments needed. As long as we're open, you can come in. We're open from 10 to 4, Monday through Friday. Come and get your groceries. Now, we order from the Houston Food Bank. We put our order in, but we're restricted to whatever they have on hand. So we order milk, eggs, bread, proteins, and they don't have it, they can't send it. So if you are wondering why we have what we have, it's because the Houston Food Bank literally doesn't have it. But we put in orders every day and ask for pie in the sky, and we get what we get. So and we're always running short of plastic bags, so bring reusable bags. But if you have any questions or there are some special items that you're looking for, we can look on our list and see if we can get them. Because I know, especially with our international students, there are dietary restrictions, and we'll do our best to try to get them. They just may not have them available. Okay, so on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of the month, we have our very own SNAP navigator that comes and helps students apply for SNAP benefits. Her name is Kelly Campos. She comes into our office. She's there by 9 o'clock and she stays till 5 o'clock every 2nd and 4th Tuesday of the month. If you come to our office, you send me an email, if you just stop by or give us a phone call, I can give you her personal text message information, and you can send her a text message and set up an appointment. Or you can just do a drop-in. It's really up to you how you want it, but she's dedicated to our UHD students on those 2 days a week. So if you have any questions, you're not sure if you're eligible, you can always get a hold of Kelly. But she's there, like I said, and she's really responsive. And so one thing I want y'all to keep in mind too, the Houston Food Bank, she works for the Houston Food Bank. The Houston Food Bank is also going into social services. So they offer other services other than just food bank. They have the SNAP navigators, and they also have what they call medical navigators that can help you find affordable medical and health care. And they also can help you apply for the Gold Card. And they also have workforce development and all kinds of other resources. And Kelly's an expert on all those other resources. So when she's in there, when you're in there doing your appointment, she's going to refer you to all those resources as well. So she does a lot of other things. She's going to look for every avenue and every resource possible to help you with whatever you need. So even if you're not eligible for SNAP, it's just good to go and talk to her. So I talked about the Gator Shop again. So we're getting it remodeled. Dr. Arrington's in charge of career services. So they're getting the closet remodeled. It's career apparel for men and women. There's shoes, there's jackets, there's skirts, there's anything you would need for an interview. It's all completely free. I have a key to the closet, so you don't necessarily have to go through career services, but they like to keep track of that. So you can call them and make an appointment to go there, and they'll sit there with you as long as it takes. You can try on as many things as you want to and take as much as you want to. They're not going to restrict to, because you may need 3 outfits to go to 3 different interviews. So, so it's located in our office, again, like I said, in one main building in 210. And they're going to, help you. Like they're going to talk to you about where are you interviewing at, because they're going to know the employers and they're going to recommend what's best to wear to that interview. So it's best that you go through them because they're going to guide you through that process as well. So housing information. So as y'all know, we don't have residence halls. So these are the 2 community partners that we're working with right now, Coalition for the Homeless and Family Scholars. I actually went to a groundbreaking probably 3 weeks ago. So Family Scholars House, they're building 4 apartment complexes for single parents, men and female single parents, and they're building complexes for UHD, U of H system single parents. And so they should be opening their first complex building, I think in December, they said. So they're going up pretty quick, but they're really trying to capture U of H system single parents first. And then they're going to go after that. Coalition for the Homeless is transitional housing for students that are housing insecure. And they're just kind of a stopgap to help you get on your feet and then move on. So if you need housing for like 6 months, they'll give you housing for 6 months until you can get on your feet. The United Way of Greater Houston is a great place to go if you're just looking for resources for like utility assistance, transportation assistance. If you go onto their resource page, they have lots of resources there. Now, many of y'all probably have heard about the Gator Emergency Fund. So as UHD students, you're eligible to receive $500 in emergency funds. It's free, you don't pay it back. Nothing like that, but it only covers transportation, childcare, and housing. That's all it covers. It does not cover textbooks. It does not cover tuition. It does not cover student service fees. Now, what it does, if you get that $500, it frees up money so you can put money towards your textbooks, towards your tuition, or any other things that you need. You don't have to be delinquent on your rent. You don't have to be delinquent on your car note or anything like that. You just have to say that you're in need. Now, the most important part of filling out this application is it asks for a paragraph, a narrative on why you need the money. We do mean a paragraph. People will actually fill out 2 sentences and that disqualifies you. Following instructions is very important. Putting a screenshot of your rent or or childcare bill is very important. If you do not include the documentation, you will be disqualified. They're not even going to go any further than that. So follow the instructions as they are written. So part of the application, there's going to be a link there that's called Single Stop. It's an assessment tool to look at every single need that you have. It's a need assessment tool. It takes about 20 minutes to do. So if you don't do that assessment tool, that'll disqualify you again. So just make it easy on us. We want to give you your money. Just fill it out the application as it's written. Okay, so we started financial literacy workshops today. Today was budgeting and money mindset. We're going to have a whole series. Here are the different dates and the different topics. You're going to start seeing a lot of marketing. It was a really good workshop today. We're going to have door prizes, food, different things like that. We're working with the Financial Coaching and Economic Stability Hub. I bet y'all didn't even know that we had that. It's housed in the social work department. So the social work department was created this stability lab, and so they're supposed to prove that there's a correlation between mental health and how we spend our money. It's a money mindset. So we have been given the charge to use our financial literacy workshops to show and do assessments on how we think about money, and does that really affect how stable we are as far as our economics. So we're doing assessments as we do that as well. So here again, here's the QR code for the Gator Emergency Fund if y'all are interested in applying for that and more information. So TAP is already closed. TAP is the Textbook Assistance Program. It opened on the 13th and there was only like $3,000 allotted to that. And they were giving it out like $250 allotment. So I think it was like 12 different scholarships for that. It's $250. I mean, that for when I was getting my MBA, my accounting book cost $400 and my finance book was $350, but $250 helps. So this comes up every semester. It opens up every semester. It's just another avenue for you to get financing for textbooks. So that's also run through the Basic Needs Office. It's very limited in the funding, but we do get the Gator Emergency Fund. So one thing to think about as far as the Gator Emergency Fund, I worked at UHCL previously to coming here. There were only two universities in the system that were awarded this grant. UHCL awards this grant too. They give you $1,000 the lifetime that you're there, one and done. Whereas UHCL gives it to you $500 every academic year. So you're getting a little bit more. So think about that. If you're here, it takes you 5 years to graduate with your, your undergrad degree. It's every year. If you're going to be here through undergrad, master's, doctoral program, you're getting $500 every year that you're eligible. Whereas the UHCL was different. So, I mean, it's a great benefit. So transportation subsidy. So we have the Q cards. If any of y'all are using, is anybody using a Q card here? Okay. So Q card, great benefit. I'm actually thinking about getting a Q card because I don't live far from here. Q card's a great benefit. So if y'all didn't know, y'all have subsidized transportation on the Metro. So Metro already gives y'all a discount of 50% by virtue of being university and college students, but Basic Needs also pays 25% more of that. So basically as a college student, you're paying 25% of that Metro ride, which is a big savings. So when students come in and say, I'm driving all the way from Richmond or Conroe or Tomball, we can give you the Gator Emergency Fund for some of your transportation. You get a flat tire. You need to get some things done on your car that's a barrier for you to get to school. We can't pay for gas. That's not included in the Gator Emergency Fund, but repairs on your car. I often suggest that you do the park and ride maybe, and then use the rest of, and then you use, you just use the Metro to get there. It's a savings. I mean, because you're just paying 25% of the ride and you're saving the wear and tear of your car. So that's just the consideration. And then also, you have other community resources if you look around too. So this is single stop. So Basic Needs pays for this portal, the single stop portal. Single stop is a self-assessment that connects you with all the community resources in your area. So basically when you go to single stop and the QR code's there, you can also go to the UHD website and in the search engine, type in single stop. It's a self-assessment. Be as honest as you can about all your needs, and it's going to connect you with every single community resource in your zip code. You need transportation assistant, childcare assistant, medical assistant, food assistance, every single resource. And then it's up to you to pick and choose which ones you want to pursue. But it lists every single one of them. And those are other resources. And you don't even, you don't even have to do the assessment tool, but it gives you a clearer picture if you use the assessment tool, or you just want to, click around and see what's available out there. You can do that as well. I have a student that lives in Conroe right now, and she wants to look at the resources to where she's moving. She's moving closer to the university. So she's going to honestly pick where she's moving to based on what resources are available. So that's one of the things that she's doing. And we're working through that right now. So that's basically my presentation. Does anybody have any questions? I can't hear you. just bring them to my office. I had somebody bring clothes today, actually. They can take them up to the career services, but I'm right there just off the elevator. So it's just easier for them to bring them to me, and I'll put them in the closet. And they come down usually on Fridays and sort through things and pick and choose and all that. So also, don't be shy about what your needs are. I mean, if it's really personal, I will take you into an office and talk to you and really take my time and try to assess what you need. We are there to make sure that we take care of all the challenges that are going to keep you from graduating. And I know it gets pretty personal sometimes, but I've done social work before. I've worked at other universities. I have partnerships all over the city. And if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody that knows the answer, or Dean Pacheco knows the answer. So we really work hard as a division to really support our students. So although, it may be tough to come into the office and really tell your story, it's really important to us that you succeed. And, we have tackled some really hard problems in our office, and it really is important that y'all get to the finish line, and that's really what our job is to do. And it makes me happy when y'all succeed. Your achievement is my achievement. So you can volunteer if you are interested in volunteering. If there are in sororities, fraternities, student organizations that need volunteer hours, you can always volunteer with us. We put everything on our Instagram. So you need to know what we're doing. We put everything on Instagram. If you just need some information, more information, there's our basic needs QR code as well. So, I mean, if you just have an hour to volunteer, we can always put you to work, because I'm the only one working in the office. And, if you just want to come in and grab some candy, I always have candy and snacks in my office and keep me company. That's good too. And I just want to appreciate y'all inviting me here. I know that I see a lot of y'all in my office are coming by just to say hey and grab some candy. So don't be a stranger, bring some friends. And I'd really like some input from y'all. If there's anything that we're not offering that we can offer, we work for y'all. We really do work for y'all. And any insight that y'all can give us or anything that we can do better is greatly appreciated, because we work on your behalf. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you so much.
All right, so I have the pleasure of introducing our lawyers. So our first lawyer, she is a graduate of U of H Main Campus Law Center with the 2023 class. She graduated cum laude. She is a law associate at Kirkland and Ellis. She is an investments fund associate specifically, and she graduated with honors with her bachelor's degree from Hamilton College. This is Miss Amanda Hernandez. Give her a round of applause, you guys. You want me to do a dual introduction for both of y'all? I can't. Okay. Okay. And our other lawyer that is here with us today is Miss Lakeisha Russell. She is a graduate of Purdue A&M University. She graduated magna cum laude in May 2015. She is also a graduate of the Texas Southern Thurgood Marshall School of Law. She earned her Juris Doctorate in 2018, and she graduated cum laude, and she passed her bar admissions exam in May 2019. She is the owner of the Alamajaw Law Group, and she is the managing attorney specializing in personal law injury and family law. Welcome both of our lawyers, Amanda and Keisha. I think they decided to tag team y'all, so good luck. All right, we gotta wake it up in here a little bit. What's up, everybody? We're gonna have some fun. So we've been told that you guys are interested in possibly pursuing a legal career. We're both attorneys. We do
completely opposite things, but that's the awesome part about the legal field is there's so many different opportunities that you can go into when you have a JD degree, so.
Sure, so I'm a bit more on the transactional aspect of the law, so I think a good way to think about it is like two buckets. You have like the litigation side, which is a little bit similar to what you see on TV with the judge and the lawyer, but not all that similar, I would say. But sort of what you think a lawyer does is sort of that side of the law. I do transactional, so I will never see a judge in my life. I will never argue a case in front of a judge. Instead, I work with big corporations and businesses, and I help them in their day-to-day transactions based on their business goals, right? So a good example would be if, I don't know, Apple was to buy Samsung, and like everything that would go with that acquisition of that company, every legal aspect of it would be something that like my firm would handle.
So basically what she's telling you is she makes all the big dollars and I'm the one that you see doing the things on television. So I am a civil litigator. 95% of my practice is civil litigation. I do family law, so child support, custody, divorces, all that fun stuff. I do that. And then I also do personal injury. So if you've been in a car accident, a trucking accident, if you fall off a roller coaster at Dallas Astroworld, I'm the person you would call to sue the insurance company to get a really, really big check. But I think that's the awesome part about being lawyers is we're not confined to a small box. No two lawyers are going to do the same thing. Both of our walks of life have been very, very different, but we both graduated with the same degree. So the one thing that I will say about pursuing a legal education is you can write your own ticket and do whatever it is that you want. I own my own practice. When I graduated from law school, I went and I worked for a firm and I had to worry about billable hours. I had to worry and make sure if I was making enough money for the firm so I could keep my job. And then I was like, I'm out here making these other people rich. Why don't I make myself rich? So I decided I was going to quit my job and I went completely solo. I hung my own hat and it was the best decision that I ever made. I actually get to go before the judges and argue in front of them and put on a case and fight for my clients' rights. But what she's doing is just as important because if we don't have transactional attorneys, if we don't have attorneys that are doing contracts and making big deals work, what kind of world do we live in, right? So you guys tell us what it is that you want to know about the legal field, and if we're able to answer it, we absolutely will. Also, if you guys are watching on Zoom, please type your questions in the little box, and we'll be happy to answer whatever questions you guys have.
I don't know, like, first question also for like, anyone, do you have any law classes that property law and intellectual property law?
You said intellectual property laws? I don't know any personally.
I also do not,
Yeah.
you're like,
What I can say is, in our field, I don't know if the University of Houston Law Center does this, but I know that Thurgood Marshall at Texas Southern, we have a big network of every attorney that's ever graduated from our program. We're all in a big group. We email each other, we message each other. So if there is a particular area of law that you're interested in, give your information to Ms. Stevenson and she can send it over to me. And if there's someone that I can link you with that can give you those answers, I'd be more than happy to do that. I'm sure your university does it as well.
The reason I ask is because, I have a follow-up question. Like in law school, say for example, at what point do you know what kind of law?
that's a great question. So law school works a little different than what college works. Like you don't have a major, you don't have something you specialize in. So you go in your first year and you'll take like the general classes that are required, right? So like your criminal law, your property law, like the big classes that everyone should kind of know when they're an attorney. And then you kind of your second year, your third year, start to take the classes that interest you, right? So like if you want to be IP lawyer, then you'll take some of those classes. You want to be an immigration attorney, you'll take more of those immigration classes and like clinics and whatever else your school offers. But you don't really graduate with a specialty, right? You don't graduate saying, okay, I'm this type of an attorney. It more or less comes from one, your experiences throughout the summer, right? So most law school students work at firms, work for federal judges work at different corporations already throughout their summers, just to kind of learn a little bit more about each practice, and to sort of determine what type of law they ultimately want to practice. I mean, I, as a first generation, attorney, first generation college graduate, I had no idea what I was doing, right? People would be like, you want to be in litigation or transaction? I'm like, I don't know, like whatever's gonna pay me, that's what I'm gonna do, right? So it was sort of like going into law firms, kind of trying out projects from each group, trying to figure out what their day-to-day looked like, sort of like led me to figure out, all right, this more or less looks like what I want to practice, right? If, for full transparency, I went to law school thinking I was making immigration attorney. And here I am making rich people richer, right? So things change, right? A lot of different things that you start to take into consideration as you practice. But I think that's the great thing, right? Like you get to learn so much. Like I took so many family classes, family law classes, and I learned so much, and they were so fun. But I ultimately didn't end up.
Yeah, she's absolutely right. In law school, there's not one specific area of law that we want to learn. And that's why you'll hear people say the bar exam is so difficult. It's difficult because you literally learn every single area of law in order to be eligible to practice in your jurisdiction. And now the way that the bar is set up, when I took the bar exam, I took the bar exam just for Texas. By the time she took the bar exam, they have the uniform bar exam, which now you can practice in like a million states, which there's only 50, so you can't actually practice in a million states, but you can practice in a whole lot of them. So the legal field is ever changing, and you don't have to know when you walk through the doors what type of lawyer you want to be. I didn't know what type of lawyer I wanted to be until I was already practicing for 2 years. That's when I decided, this is kind of ghetto and I don't want to do this anymore. I want to try something a little different. So that's perfectly cool. I saw you in the back with your hand up. Oh, perfect.
Here, what it's like to have a work-study balance while you're in law school and while working.
Work-study balance in law school is not a thing. When I first went to Thurgood Marshall, we had this thing called like 1L boot camp. And on the first day, the first Monday that we ever sat in a chair in law school, the dean of our program told us, law school is like a jealous lover. It's your mistress, it's your baby daddy, it's your boo thing. That is the only thing that you have time for. If you have a spouse, tell them that they got to step to the side for 3 years. If you have a job, lose it. Because it is such a rigorous program and you need to put all of your eggs in that basket. But I don't want to discourage you and make you feel like it's impossible. I had a lot of fun in law school. I can't speak for my counterpart here, but I went to every party. Okay. I was at every football game. I had a blast because what I wasn't going to do is I wasn't going to go to law school and lose myself. I was very involved in undergrad. I'm in a sorority. I was in every student organization that you could think of. So I wanted to still be able to have a life. I was very active in church. I was a student's minister. So I didn't want to completely lose myself when I went to law school. But you do have to know that law school is your priority. So your education has to come first. So there were some things that I was like, hey, y'all, I can't come to the chapter meeting this Sunday. I've got an exam tomorrow, so I won't be able to be there. But it is possible to have a balance. You just have to know going through the door what your end result is going to be.
Are like practice focused student clubs, in law school, for example, are there any clubs that are for say, okay, we want to do constitutional laws, but there's like constitutional law, there's one that goes like, okay, I want to do MMA, so they were going to do emergency acquisition. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so I think in that aspect, it might be a little more similar to college.
Mhm.
You still have those types of clubs, right? You still have journals where people actually like write different types of, I don't know if articles would be the right word, but like, notes or things.
Legal publications.
Right,
Yeah.
publications. And they're focused on one aspect of the law, right? So I was in the, it was International Law Journal. And I got to learn more about that. And then you have like Hispanic Students Law Association, and then you have Constitutional Law Association. Like you have different clubs just like you go to college to sort of, expand that desire to know more about that specific law. I'm gonna build a network with those people, whoever they might know, they might bring in speakers, just like we're doing now. So that aspect, it is very similar to college.
And like, just like in college, I mean, it would be different. Like say, for example, I'm a student, I'll use UHCL or certified function. talk. And let's say I'm interested in, I don't know, I wanna do okay, IP law, let's say that I wanna like, but there's not a tool for IP in the university, I don't know if there is. Would I be able to start one, or do those the university like decide what, like, law student like this, what?
I think it's probably like more campus specific. I know at Thurgood Marshall, if there was something that you wanted to do and nobody was doing it, our dean of students would tell us, find two friends and start it. So if there is a specific group or program that you want to start and it's not already available, I can only speak for the one that I went to, but I'm pretty sure across the board, if you can get someone, a faculty member to support you and be an advisor, they'll let you do it. Because when I tell you at Thurgood, they have groups for everything. They had a club for wine and cheese, and all they did was drink wine and eat cheese. Who does that? But it was kids that were like, look, we can't go into our social atmospheres that we used to be in. So we want to bring those social atmospheres into the school. And it turned into a huge thing at our school. And now it's a fundraiser that they have every year. It's a big party. So, I mean, go for it.
We also had a lot of associations. I mean, I started off during COVID, so I did my first 2 years through Zoom pretty much. So I had like a different experience to what maybe any other attorney or law students might be having now. But my third year things started to get a little more normal. And I mean, we had almost every single thing that we could think of, right? And like she said, it's always, those are the skills that a good attorney have, right? Being a leader, being able to advocate for yourself, being able to, you know, make those things happen. So I'm sure that with a group of students, with a group of friends, you'll get it.
Yeah. Is there anybody in the room that like knows they want to go to law school or knows that they want to be a lawyer? If you don't, there's no pressure. But is there anyone in particular that thinks that this is the route that they want to take? I can tell you do.
I mean,
Do you want to do intellectual property?
so here's the thing, full disclaimer, my wife works as a, she got a PhD in chemistry, but to try some tribulations of life, she ended up in a parametric. Doesn't have lawyer and right and everything, so I feel like having the career as a possible like pivot, since I'm a CS major, to tell me like, you know, we have these conversations about, oh, like nobody, you know, it's hard to get work as software engineer, whereas at their firm, they're like, any, you know, anybody who's interested in like becoming a better attorney that has a background in like computer science, hey, we need people that are able to like read AI back. Like there's that's something that's sort of happening. So, you know, it's something that you know, because I have the opportunity to work and so it's really interesting. So that's all in my class.
And actually, if you think about law, you don't have to have a specific major.
At all.
Right? It's not like pre-med, like you don't have to be pre-med to go to like school, not law school, like an art major, photography major, English major, right? Of course, there are certain majors that might, you know, help you have those skills that you're gonna need to be successful. But like ultimately, for example, I was a Hispanic studies major, right? So I came into law school pretty much I didn't think I understood how the government worked in law school. So, you know, it's just like everything else in education.
And I'm glad that she said that because some people or a lot of people have a misconception that the only way you can go to law school is if you have a degree in political science or a degree in criminal justice or something like that. The valedictorian of my class was a kinesiology major. First of all, what? Human performance, not judging, but judging. We listen and we don't judge, but we do. But he was a freaking genius and he loved the law. He loved to study, and that boy it was crazy. So I don't want you to be discouraged and feel like you have to have a specific major. And there are also people that came into law school with me that graduated with me. They were on like their 4th and 5th career. There was this one person in my class who was like 87. You didn't have anything else to do? I'm like 21 years old and they're 87. I could have thought of 100,000 other things to do at 87 and be in law school, but some people, they just want the education. They want to get that JD. They want to be a publication specialist. They want to write books. They want to go back and teach. So don't feel like there's only one route to take to get where you're going. There's a whole lot of different off-ramps that'll still get you to the same destination.
Like their third career with like vibes.
They had
kids
grandkids
for
older than me.
college. And you know, they're still out there trying to launch the skills, reading the page.
That happened when they were 5.
Exactly. Takes, you know, a lot of effort. Yeah, definitely. So even if you're not thinking about it now, like actually learn more about it, actually meet more people, right? I didn't have a chance to know any attorneys before I went into law. So I was like sort of like figuring out as I went, which is why I was like so happy sitting here, like you have so many resources, right? I'm sure there are people here who really want to see you succeed. So as you learn more about these different careers, but you know, it might be into your third year of college, and you're like, you know what, maybe I want to law. I myself took a break in between college and law school. I was a teacher for 3 years, and then I went to so.
And I was the psychopath that went straight from undergrad to law school. I came from a family of lawyers. We're all deranged, clearly, because we all decided to go down the same path. But yeah, well, I was lawyer from day one.
What just specifically for you, since you started talking from a family of lawyers, did you end up practicing in the same area as your parents, family?
So this is the funniest story about my life. I tried so hard to be like the most opposite of my family members because I did not want to like go into the family business just to end up going into the family business. I was like, my uncle, he owns a firm. That's where I worked prior to going solo. He's personal injury, owns a big personal injury firm. When I was an undergrad, I knew I was going to go to law school. So I went and interned in Brazos County under the first Black district attorney in Brazos County. I was working in the felony courts. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go be a criminal lawyer, criminal defense. I'm gonna save all the people. No, I ended up at my uncle's firm. Me and my two uncles. And then I went and opened the satellite office and we all do the same thing. But I love it. As much as I wanted to like get away from it, I think it's amazing when you have legacy in your family and when you have generational wealth being built. And if they've already established this amazing construct for me, who am I to tell them I don't want to participate? And I hope my children, when they grow up, decide we want to go work like mommy did. They'll probably all be like teachers or like doctors, but you know, thug life. Oh my gosh.
Hi, Crystal. So for law school, like how does it work to like funding, like to get to go to like to pay for it? Because like different.
Be ready to take out those student loans. Just be ready. I had a scholarship my first year. And I'm not saying that legal scholarships are not out there. They're there and apply for all of them. There was one girl in my class, she got a scholarship when we were in undergrad for like making a prom dress out of duct tape. Who does that? It was crazy. But there are scholarships out there. Apply for all of them. Speak to the financial aid department at whatever law school you're looking to go into. I did that. That's how I got my first year scholarship and then it rolled over second and third year. But law school is expensive, but it pays the bill. If you graduate and you put that degree into practice, you're going to be able to pay the loans off and you're going to be able to live comfortably. Now, if you go to law school and decide that you want to like go join the Peace Corps or something, I'm warning you ahead of time. Don't do that. But if you actually go into practice, it pays the bill for you.
Related to that question, isn't there, aren't there like any program for like to serve as a in public service?
Oh yeah, they'll forgive your loans. If you go work at the district attorney's office or if you go work as a public defender, will never participate personally. There are people that will, couldn't be me, could be someone. But there are definitely programs. If you go, you can also go JAG with the military. I have a lot of classmates that went JAG and they are like paid, no student loan debt, but they have to wear those weird uniforms. So there's that.
Oh wait, that's actually a form for them? Like, those lawyers that like end up going into court, not them, like they're not like the people facing court martial?
So basically, they're the attorneys for the military. So that's their job. When people get court-martialed, if there's like an assault on the base or something like that, JAG officers are the ones that handle all the legal proceedings in the military. They get paid very well. They will recruit you year one. I don't know if they came to UH, baby. They were knocking at the door at TMSF. And all my friends that are JAG, they're very happy with their career choices. So it is an option. I support it 100%.
So a normal attorney cannot defend.
No, you have to be a military attorney.
I didn't know.
Yeah, JAG officers handle all of that. They have JAG. The military works the same way as like civilian life. It's just inside of the military. So they have JAG public defenders, they have JAG prosecutors. It's like their own little town. But it's really cool. Except for the uniform, can't get down there. The khaki is not for me. It washes me out.
Walk us through a rate of loss, what it was. You, from the moment you woke up to the moment you went to bed.
How would you go first? Cause you were in law school more recently than I was.
That's a great question. I guess I'll walk you through a day in my third year. Like I said, my first 2 years I did it pre-student. I woke up, drove down to UH. I used to live in Katy at the time, so you can imagine that commute. You know, cursed a little bit on my way there,
Baby.
but got there. I had an 8 a.m. class, so I'm going to that class. And then in between the hours that I had for my other class, I would either go through the cases that we were going to discuss in my next class, or I would read for the next day. First I would cry about any phone call I might have had in the previous class. And then just pretty much what college looks like, right? You go to class, you take the time in between finding good work, be on your phone. And then I would come home and read for about 5, 6, 7 hours, just 2 or 3 in the morning. And then do it all over again, right? Except I didn't have class on Friday. So I would be lying to you if I told you it's not a lot of work, there's not a lot of reading, not a lot of analytical thinking, because it really is. But then there were days when I only had 1 class, and then I went to happy hour with, you know, the Latino Student Association.
Is that what they call the bar review? When you walk through the bar?
For like the bar exam.
Yeah, but you actually go to an actual bar.
Oh, that's a law school thing. You must have legal friends. Bar review is when we bar hop, but bar review in real life is when we're studying for the bar exam. But bar review is when we're in Midtown and we're hopping from the Red Door to Little Woods Road. Yeah.
So other than like the actual work to prepare for class and what class looks like, right? Just to give you like little snippet, class is not ran as of like, oh, we have this unit, but we're gonna go on an objective, and this is gonna be our warm up, and then we're gonna have this, you know, activity. No, it's mostly, you read a couple of cases, 5, 6 on average. You take the rule from that case, which is essentially the law that we're learning about that case. And then you're just.
You love it, Iraq.
Then you're just discussing it with your professor and your classmates, right? And then there's this aspect of phone calls, I've never heard it from your wife. But, you know, some professors will tell you who was on call that day. So this is the person they're gonna be talking to this case, right? Like, why did you turn to you?
So they're gonna
Right,
harass.
why did it turn that way? Well, the same thing opinion from another justice, right? So, for a lot of classes, you don't know that day is you. So that's why you kind of have to prepare every single day, because then you're kind of just being embarrassed in class, right? You don't even know what to say. Granted, will people remember at the end of the day? I don't know.
I
still
remember.
I remember my first phone call was my first day in law school, my first class.
From law, Judge Walker.
And did not, it was Professor Bushman.
No.
I did not take my law book. Law books are
Heavy.
but I had extended notes. I knew everything. And guess what he asked? What year was this case? And I was like,
How am I supposed to?
no, I could have Googled it, but like you can imagine the pressure at the time, right? So, anywho, I don't think anyone remembers that. I didn't walk out of class, cried, didn't go to my next class because I couldn't bear to see my friends anymore. We were divided.
So
into
embarrassed. I had to drop out of law school.
Oh, it's so embarrassing. But anywho, you're kind of leading the conversation. I really love that, right? And I love the fact that like different opinions, different ways of analyzing things, but like, wait, why was this one, wrong with that? It's just like a conversation, how you're learning your life, right? So it didn't really look like a typical college class. And then you go through your whole semester without an exam. You might have a midterm that's not graded. And then at the end of the semester, you have one exam that determines your.
If you can come back to school.
Right. So like, it's very different in that aspect, right? Like you have one grade that determines your whole.
Existence.
One exam that determines your whole grade for the class. On a curve, so there might be only 4 people.
You can
that
only
take-
do as good as the other people in you.
Exactly. Like if we did a really good job, I did a really good job, there's only one A in that class, only one of us can pass. So like then that's where the competitiveness comes in, right? Like when
People
are
still in
really, like,
KD.
So like
Ghetto.
it's crazy. It's crazy, but it's fun.
So much fun. I remember my first day of law school. I was in criminal law. My professor's name was Judge Walker. She's my bestie now. Hated her dude. And all through the summer, like we had this Facebook page and we were like discussing, look, if you get this professor for criminal law, you better know X, Y, and Z. So I was ready. I was like, she's gonna ask me what is murder. I know the definition of murder, malice aforethought, express going pot. I'm ready. Baby, I get in the class and she said, Aloma, drop, stand up. I stand up, I'm ready. I'm like, she's gonna ask me what is murder, and I'm gonna get the answer right. She said, read me the first line in the textbook. I said, the textbook that I didn't bring. I said, I think you meant to ask me what is murder. She said, no, I meant to ask you to read me the first line of the textbook. I said, well, Judge Walker, I didn't bring it with me. She said, well, are you gonna go to court without your briefcase? Are you gonna go to court without your client's file? So why are you coming to my class not prepared if you're not gonna go to court prepared? If you say you wanna be a lawyer, then when you walk through the doors of our class, you better act like one. And baby, when I tell you, I was never off my P's and Q's after that day, she was never gonna catch me sleeping again, because baby, she snatched my edges loose. Snatched my edges loose.
On that subject, like, for each one of y'all, your favorite law school class, your least favorite law school class.
Least constitutional law. If I see Judge Scalia's name one more time, I'll end it all for myself. Why are we reading the dissenting opinion? They lost.
They're long.
We don't care.
They're long.
Con law was definitely the worst.
It was my worst grade in law school.
Property, I think, was my favorite. That was my highest grade in law school. Property, oh baby, I would challenge Clevin. That's my boy. He's my favorite. I had never met, like, he was a hippie Jew and he was the coolest guy I ever met. He literally came to class. He had on like Birkenstocks, cargo shorts, and a Hawaiian t-shirt every single day. The coolest guy I ever met. But he's also the smartest man I've ever met in my life. He was my favorite class. I wanted to come in class and know more than him because he knew so much. And he pulled like that out of us. But con law is the ghetto.
Is the rule against like doing something in property law?
It's in property law. Really? It must vest for a relevant life plus 21 years. I will never forget. I will never practice property law a day in my life, but I will also never forget that rule because he threw it over his head.
I think like from a law school friend of mine, I heard that's like the major focus engine of the cell of law school.
I think it's more difficult now to understand the rules against perpetuities because now that we have IVF, you can't really get a vested life because there's a possibility that you could have a child 100 years after you're dead. If you have a baby sitting somewhere in a freezer, like myself, I'm pregnant. I found out today I'm pregnant. We've been going through IVF. But I have 2 other embryos that are sitting in the freezer. God forbid anything could happen to me and my spouse tomorrow, but a surrogate could go and birth my child 30 years from now. Are they a relevant life of being? Is their life that is less than 21 years? We'll never know. I mean, they're never gonna do that because I've signed contracts, but you know, there's a possibility.
I think that's also the fun aspect of law school, like learning these laws. And most times, right, like are connected to your daily life.
Yep.
Things that you experience, right? Like the neighbor with a stop sign once and I was like, shit.
Property, your neighbor, that line of egress on your property, if they put their fence over that line, and I had to get with my neighbor, I said, look, sir, your water line is over your property line. I need you to scoot that. He's like, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, here's my business card. I said, I sue you. Move it over. He ran those French drains 4 inches over. Yes, he did. Yeah, you better move those French drains 4 inches. You on my property line, sir. Got my grass all wet.
A lawyer because like I'm just saying like you know the law.
Oh, I threaten people all the time, especially in the grocery store. I love it.
And-
Don't ride too close to me with your buggy.
And this is-
But then you know your family's gonna think that you know every single law. They want legal advice every single day.
And they don't wanna pay. Your mama, she gonna be the worst one. Your mama, the day you pass the bar, she gonna be your first client. Charge her, get a retainer up front. No, I can't make you. I didn't. That was on you, sis.
And this is a question because I have lawyer friends that always wonders my wife. Say someone is writing an invitation for their wedding or something. We rather be addressed as your name, for example, in your case, like Keisha Russell, Coleman JD, or you rather, name, refer as like Keisha Russell, Coleman S Y.
I don't really think about it, to be honest. I never put any of the letters, to be honest.
People think about it.
I'm telling you.
And here I am, you know, feel happy.
Yeah. Once you have it, not that it's not important, it's important to me, but I don't even think twice about whether it's like on something or not. I remember the first day I walked into court, the judge thought I was a paralegal. I was like, no, I'm the lawyer. It's me. And he was like, are you serious? I was like, why would a paralegal show up to court? Your Honor? Like,
So I can do either one.
Yeah, either
Coleman JD, Coleman S.
I mean, some lawyers get real testy and put doctor. I think that's a little, technically we are a doctor, we have a juris doctorate, but it's a little false. I don't do it personally, but if you do see a lawyer that only uses JD, it's because they're not a licensed attorney, they're a lawyer. So there is a difference. So
Okay.
if you see ESQ, they're a barred attorney versus a JD, they just have a law degree.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So that's you really will only see it with people that have a JD, they're the ones that put it at the end of their names, but attorneys, we don't.
Or even with the term lawyer, that's.
Yeah.
You graduate from law school,
Yeah.
you're already a lawyer, right? But you're not an attorney.
So you get that little gold card.
And,
Let me see your card.
and, when we, as a lawyer, when we use it, I've seen some lawyers that have and I think this is like the most badass like title of them all. It's like one time a guy crashed into me, so I told him my car. He came out, we're gonna sell everything in my insurance. This kid was saying, this car reads like blah, 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 off council. And I thought it was like the most badass title. Like,
They may be in-house for someone. It means that they're on retainer for a specific client. Counsel means I have a specific client that I work for. I mean, if I see it, I'll be like, oh, you're an attorney like me. Let's go get a drink. In 9 months.
Cool.
Does anyone else have any questions? Do you have any questions, Mr. D?
I don't think so. I feel like y'all have been on the hot seat for a good minute now. I think that was thorough. Is there anything else in the chat?
There, that email, yeah, will recognize so they can.
Okay. So boom, here's this one for Miss Lakeisha. And then we go back for Miss Amanda here. Boom, get your screenshots in for all of the other questions. With that, thank y'all so much. Y'all got a lot of information. Erica put these together for y'all to take some UHD swag. We would love to give you more and greater things, but what's my favorite word?
The budget.
Talk about it. All right. Yes. Okay, so with that, that is the conclusion of our technically last ATA kickoff. We will be having 3 more program meetings for the rest of the semester, and of course, all of the other workshops and events that we have. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. For all of those, for those of you who are joining us who have not been a part of ATA in the past, and you're wanting a success coach, you're wanting to get involved and informed about all of these different events that we have, all of the workshops that we have, remember to send us an email at ata@uhd.edu. You can also send one to me if you really want, but I checked the ATA one, so just send it to that. Because if y'all all send stuff to my inbox, I'm gonna miss it, all right? Because I blink and end up with 40 emails in my inbox. I don't know how it happens, okay? So go to the ATA one. And then, of course, if you want a success coach, like I said, we will assign, that's the word I'm looking for. We will assign one to you and make sure that you have that support. But with that, y'all be safe. We care, we love you, right? And we'll see y'all next month. How do I stop?
No, agent, there's a difference. She hasn't gotten a lot. Now, he has been very active in now. He is licensed practice in front of